Final round of the Navistar LPGA Classic from Prattville, Alabama. A Sunday set to be a magical ride for Lexi Thompson, trying to break a record which has stood for 59 years. Leading by 5 to start the day, can a high school junior become the youngest winner in LPGA history? Lexi underway at 11:47 Eastern Time. We'll take you through some highlights in the early part of her round. Tom Abbott and Jane Kraft are with you. We start on the second hole and the first birdie of the day for Lexi Thompson.
And important to set the tone for the day.
Moves to 16 under and a 6-shot lead. All pars to this point at number 7 and another one sneaking in. So Lexi remains at 16 under. That 6-shot lead still in play. Then on the par 5, the 8th.
Another excellent sand wedge for Lexi.
This for her 20th birdie of the tournament. That's the most birdies she has ever had in a 72-hole event. And she still has 10 holes to play. We're out live now on the 9th, and Lexi Thompson with a birdie putt to get to 18 under, which was one off the winning total from last year.
She has showed excellent touch on the greens this week.
So Lexi leads by 7. Turned professional in June last year. Had some impressive performances. Wasn't able to enter the winner's circle. But right now, it looks like she's going to be able to do it. But we will be following her in the final round of the Navistar LPGA Classic. Age may only be a number, but in the world of professional sports, it's a benchmark. The record books clearly show when the most accomplished players lifted that most sought-after first trophy. Inkster was 23. Kerr first won age 24. Savory was 20, just like Kari Webb. But today in Prattville, Alabama, a young lady with the potential to mirror, perhaps even better, the careers of such players is in search of her first victory and the chance to break through at just 16. In the Tour's 61-year history, an 18-year-old Paula Creamer remains the youngest to win a multi-round event. Today, will the name Lexi Thompson be written in the annals of history in the final round of the Navistar LPGA Classic? Golf Channel, in association with the LPGA Tour, is proud to present live final round coverage of the Navistar LPGA Classic from the Senator Course at Capitol Hill in Prattville, Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama, the historic state capital, a city which has played a prominent role in the history of this country since its incorporation in 1819. We're just 15 miles from downtown on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Stadium-type Senator Course, one of 3 here at Capitol Hill. And it is the host venue for the 5th playing of the Navistar LPGA Classic. Well, you've heard from myself, Tom Abbott, and Jane Crafter. We are joined in commentary today by our hole announcer, Phil Parkin. Out on the golf course, we have Kate Cockrell and Val Skinner. Val is with the final group, Lexi Thompson, Mina Lee, and Tiffany Joe. Kate Cockrell will be following Julia Sergas, Jennifer Johnson, and Stacey Lewis. Lexi Thompson made her par putt on the 9th, out in 34 with 2 birdies. She's at 17 under par. And now on the tee at number 10, there's Father Scott on the bag.
And a very important 9 for Lexi Thompson starting out. Important to show the rest of the field that I'm not backing down. You've got to come and get me.
Just wait a second for this to move.
Mina Lee will be first to play, and looks like the breeze is just getting up a little bit there, Val.
It is probably just a club at this point, but any kind of breeze I think today is in Lexi's favor with her length. Mina making a nice Birdie putt there on the last to get to 11. Not a lot of club head speed, but certainly hits the golf ball very straight.
Okay. She saw the first couple.
And this is Brittany Lang for a birdie on the 12th. And moves her to 5 under for the day. That is the best of any player in the field for this Sunday round. Tiffany Joe, a tee shot at number 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's down the right. I like that target.
Played this hole into the wind yesterday, and at this point it's a little bit down and coming off the right. Favors her draw.
Yeah, it's good. Good tempo.
She can dominate these par fives, Jane.
Well, she certainly has the length to do that, but she must hit the fairway. That's going to be a challenging shot. Severe upslope.
Sorry.
Well, hello everyone. Tom Abbott and Jane Crafter with you. Glad you could be with us for a very special Sunday and historic Sunday for Lexie Thompson as she tries to break a record which has stood since 1952. And as we take a look at the youngest winners on the LPGA Tour, we start with Marlene Heggie in 1952. You know, she went on to win 26 times on this tour. And all the players listed here, all three, are major winners.
Absolutely. I think the one to look at really is Paula Creamer at the Sybase Classic, as that was a 4-round event. The other two that Marlene won were just 18-hole events. But terrific. 18 years, 9 months. Goodness, that's very young. But Lexie Thompson, 16 years. Goodness me. It's quite something if she could pull it off today, Tom.
Well, the question is, can Lexie add her name to that list? She's still got 2 years, even if she doesn't do it today, but can she do it today?
Well, I believe she can. She's shown me a lot this week. This course sets up perfectly for her. But what I like about Lexie is that she's been a proven winner at every age level. She's got a tremendous amateur resume, as you can see there from this graphic. She was the youngest to qualify for the US Women's Open. And then, look, playing in the Kraft Nabisco, she was a low amateur, tied with Tiffany Joe there in 09. And then also we have to mention the Curtis Cup. She played last year in 2010, and she was the leading point winner there, winning 4 matches, and was clearly head and shoulders above the competition last year.
Yeah, she's been a steady rise, hasn't it? She's sort of done everything she needs to do at each level and moved on to the next level and succeeded.
Yeah, she has. You know, and you have to compare her naturally to, say, Michelle Wie. And Michelle Wie really only won one title as an amateur, and that was the Women's Public Links in 2003. So I like the way that they've, her parents and her agent have let Lexie just progress naturally. We've gotten used to seeing her out here. I mean, my goodness, she's had a tremendous year last year, tied for second at Evian Masters. Very, very close to winning there. So, you know, I'm a big fan, and this golf course, as I said, sets up for her extremely well, utilizing, you know, that length to come into these severely undulating greens with short clubs, Tom.
Down to the 12th, and we're talking about Paula Creamer. There's a young winner on tour, the youngest winner of a 4-round event.
Yeah, right after winning that, she had to go back to her high school graduation.
And we can go over to the 13th tee here. Amanda Blumenhurst. 13th is 128 yards today. Oh, nice shot. I think we should expect to see a lot of balls finish very close to that hole position today on 13.
Back on number 10, Lexie Thompson.
I'd rather either
There's
have
a bit of
95.
decision-making to do with her father, Scott. It looks like Tiffany Joe will be first to play.
Just take it what?
Yeah, right, the one on the blue shirt, the right side of the green there.
Okay.
Becky Morgan. Yep, you got it.
Just working through the numbers there with their caddy, Pete Smith, who's on the bag for the last couple of weeks, been very helpful to her. Trying to get a good layup number here, 278 all the way to the hole. Decided to take it down there as far as she could get it down.
And a first look at Julie Inkster today. This for a birdie to get to 6 under par. Brittany Lang is playing very nicely today, 5 under par. Started 5 under, currently 10 under in third place all by herself. But she didn't play a very good shot here at 13, only 128 yards. As she could, well, it looks like she's just trying to flop it and knock it next to the hole, but she could go way past, could go about 15, 20 feet by, and the ball will roll back to the hole, but it doesn't look like she's playing that shot. Might not be far enough to catch the slope, it might stay there. She needed to go further. Oh, they're just trying.
On the 10th, Lexi Thompson.
Well, if she can move that ball 100 yards, she'll have 157 left. Very severe upslope to carry it that far.
She's a very powerful player. I'm 6'1" and we're about eye to eye.
Jennifer Johnson's second shot to 11.
That from 146 yards, just out of the first cut of rough.
Jennifer Johnson, a rookie on tour this year. Fine amateur career, 20 years old. Let's go back to 12.
Third shot for Paula Creamer.
Pretty straightforward little chip there for Paula. No problem at all. Showing nice touch.
Paula playing alongside Brittany Lincecum. Lexi Thompson strolling down the 10th hole with a 6-shot lead, 9 holes to play. The final round of the Navistar LPGA Classic. We'll be watching Lexi. Plenty more still to come. If Lexi were to get it done, she would become the youngest to ever win on the LPGA Tour by almost 2 years. But how do other players feel about her?
Obviously, very impressed. I'm sure I'm not the only one. She's proved she can play, and it was only going to be a matter of time. It's been awesome to see, and she's been playing very well.
And Tiffany Joe is at it again as she sneaks up the leaderboard. She's also racking up hits on YouTube. We'll show you her new music video.
So, I was wondering, when you hit a chip shot...
No joke, more from Grip It on the way as our coverage continues. Lexi Thompson with her third.
Her yardage is 101. Needs to carry this at least 95. Big ridge in front of the hole.
Oh, nice judgment shown there. Another birdie chance for Lexi.
This is Stacey Lewis, the second shot at the 11th.
After a 250-yard drive, just 136 to that front right hole location, little left to right breeze.
Wow, this is what she needed. She's just even par for the day. She needs to get something going. It might start here at 11. To 12.
And Julie Inkster.
After a 70 hole, you've got 8 more behind it, 78 total to the back edge.
Tell you what, Jane, this weekend could prove to be very important in the confidence of Julie Inkster heading into next week.
Absolutely. Hasn't been playing that great of late. Seems to be striking a little form right now. Be playing assistant captain next week. I think the ball was confused. Gave it too many instructions.
Yeah, missed 5 of her last 6 cuts, so Julie Inkster peaking at the right time.
Jennifer Johnson for a part 11.
A little bit longer putt than she would have liked.
Yeah, nicely done. Jennifer had that incredible first round, 7 under par. She was leading after the first round. It's just 8 under right now, but keeping it together. Let's go back to 10.
Well, this is the closest challenger right now to Lexi Thompson, Mina Lee, who is at 11 under.
Very long putt here. Landed it just short of the ridge and trickled back at least 25 feet. Uphill, a lot of break from right to left.
That's not the kind of putt you want to leave yourself for par when you're trying to chase down Lexi Thompson, who has a 6-shot lead right now. Definitely a misjudgment on her approach shot.
Yeah, and she was in close. I mean, that was really the mistake, was the third. Lexi's been really steady, only missed a few fairways around the front 9. Missed 1 green. She wasn't hitting the ball well coming into here. Said she couldn't get a putt in a bucket if she had one, but it's all turned around.
Good solid stroke. I like the pace. Slightly over-read for the speed that she chose.
Let's take another look at that putt. The angle that we first saw it made it look a lot shorter. Now Mina Lee, save par.
Well, major error from Mina Lee on this par 5 10th.
Mina Lee is a player that has won before, a couple of victories in her career. And let's go up to the 13th hole.
And we have Paula Creamer. Hasn't got the pink golf ball out today. That's surprising. Of course, if Lexie Thompson does win today, she's going to take over from Paula Creamer as being the youngest on tour to ever win an event that's more than 1 round.
What's that?
Morgan Pressel, another one of those players that we saw on the youngest winners statistic. This on the 18th hole, her second shot. It's the final hole of the day.
We'll move this tee up. Playing 375 today, so this back hole location. Players won't need to hit quite as long a club as they did from the back tee that played 411.
Morgan has only had 2 pars in the last 10 holes.
Well, unfortunately for Morgan, she just started so far back.
She birdied the 8th, birdied the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 16th and the 17th, but drop shots at 14 and 15. Time is of the essence here, Morgan, if we can see a golf shot.
It's a little bit of everything on the scorecard for Morgan. Now this hole's located 40 on and 6 from the left, all the way back in this very deep green.
Go! Go really hard! Go! Go!
Now, unfortunately, she landed it into the upslope.
Well, she is pushing out there, you have to say. She knows that's going to be a tough putt coming up, but she has a chance to shoot 6 under. Back on number 10, Lexi Thompson. Just a little bit of work left to do here. So Lexi remains 17 under, but the lead is now 7 with that drop shot from Mina Lee. 8 holes to go.
Lexie Thompson on the tee at the 11th, 16 years old, leading by 7 shots. Final round, Navistar LPGA Classic.
This tee lines the players to the right at a set of bunkers, and she has pulled it, trying to play away from that.
Oh, that's really sitting up nicely. Got away with that one. Playing the 3rd hardest hole today, the 11th, so it's a good job she has a good lie. Paula Creamer for a birdie at 13. I'm sure she's looking forward to the Solheim Cup next week because she's played 14 matches and only lost 1. Now that is outrageous. Very good at match play. Strong mentally. She's playing well right now. Let's go to 14.
Here's one of Paula's teammates, Brittany Lang.
A pretty short par 4 hole today. All the way in the back, 37 on. Use those slopes to perfection.
Get in there, ball.
Brittany Lang with the, well, what, 6 feet, maybe 5 feet left for her 6th birdie of the round. Number 12, Julie Inkster. Julie, get in there.
Coming into some form for the Solheim Cup. The rest of her teammates are going to be pretty pumped. You know Julie will be up for it. She loves match play.
On the 18th green, Morgan Pressel. We saw the approach and she was desperate for it to climb up onto the back level, but it hadn't got the speed to do that.
Oh, there's a huge ridge that bisects this green and hole today all the way in the back left. So a bit of an adventure here for Morgan. She'll be pretty happy to get this one fairly close. Surely be an unexpected pleasure if it went in. Oh, well done.
And Morgan will have that left for a round of 67. Solheim Cup team, the 12 American players, will have a send-off on the 18th green this evening once play continues. I think the charter flight is scheduled to leave at 7:30 from Montgomery. It's going to have to make one quick stop for a bit of extra gas, and then it'll be on to Dublin. So about an 11 or 12 hour journey for the players, but they'll all be there on Monday morning. Back to the 14th hole, and Brittany Lang.
Our brother Luke has been a caddy since she's turned professional.
Out to the 11th with Lexi Thompson.
She's managed to get a good lie here in the rough. Ball's just slightly below her feet.
Val, if she didn't have a good lie, there would be no chance she could get close to that hole position.
Well, it's in a little bit of a bowl in this front right quadrant.
Just the left of like her ball, like barely on top there.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can go.
Leading the greens in regulation, look at that, 87.5%. Not quite as good today, 6 out of 10.
I mean, still the longest club she's hit in. It's been an 8-iron. This is a wedge.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Right at 130 shot.
Let's take this a little left of the hole location, let it feed.
There was no reason for her to go to that hole position. She could have landed that one a good 6 or 7 paces left of the hole and it would have feeded its way down. Leading by 7. Yeah, we're back at the 11th green where Lexi Thompson got rather ambitious with a wedge. Her feet were way above the ball. Generally tend to push it, but with a 7-shot lead she doesn't have to be all that aggressive. So a little bit of work to do to get up and down to save par.
Well, let's hope this helps her think center of the green in a situation like that, coming out of trouble. Now, good lie in the bunker, but really no green to work with. Might need to use the collar here.
She's been in one bunker before, Phil, and did not get up and down. See if she can rectify that here.
Yeah, a little bit of work to do there.
Well, earlier today we had the chance to head out onto the range before players started their rounds to ask them about what Lexi is doing.
It's pretty impressive. I don't really look at her as 16. I mean, she's been around us quite a bit over the last couple of years, and I think she's been in this position before and kind of learned her lesson. So it would be fun to see if she's kind of if she can pull it all together today.
I got a chance to play with her a few months ago in Mobile when she shot a really low 3rd round. The way she plays, I mean, it probably suits it perfect. She's long off the tee, very aggressive. She's young, she's not afraid of anything, she just goes for it, and her scores are showing it.
For anybody that age to come out here, and you know, she's had her ups and downs, so it's nice to see her kind of sticking around and playing good consecutively for 3 days. So we'll see what she has today, but it's been awesome to see, and she's been playing very well, so that's good. You know, when I was 16, let me think. I think my handicap was probably around 9 or something. I was an amateur, going to school, having loads of different hobbies, you know. So totally different position. 16, I was still in diapers, being watched by my mom and dad at home. No, I was out playing golf, but never at this level. And it's just amazing to see all these young guns coming up these days. They have no fear, and they're so mature for their age.
Well, she's certainly good for America, great for ladies golf. It's a really exciting time right now, seeing just like it was exciting when Michelle Wie was sort of mid-teens, and exciting times for everyone right now in the game of golf to see how good she gets.
Let's take a look at our course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, as we wait for Lexi to putt there on the 11th. And Jane, this golf course here, part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, you know, the highest green fee for the year here is $64, public facility, and this golf course is in tip-top shape.
It certainly is. They've closed the golf course after Memorial Day to completely resurface all the greens with this new Champion Bermuda grass strain, and the players have raved this week. They are in absolutely gorgeous condition. If you pick a line and have the right speed, it just keeps on going into the hole. And we've seen a lot of great putting, a lot of low scores this week.
That's our course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. The other two courses here are the Judge and the Legislator. Some of the views on the Judge course are outstanding. You look out all the way down past downtown Montgomery. We showed you that right at the top of our show. Back now to Lexi Thompson at number 11.
It's a speedy little putt, this one, to save par.
Has a little slice in it.
She didn't notice that little bit of break, hit it pretty much dead straight. Well, you know, once you didn't win in Mobile, that was because you made poor decisions with wedges. Well, that's a poor decision she made there. Second shot on 11, but with a 6-shot lead, I think she's still looking quite comfortable.
6 shots, Phil. It's just so impressive at only 16 years of age. Well, plenty more still to come. Tiffany Joe aiming to go viral on YouTube. We'll show you her new music video, Grip It.
Put your hands up on the grip. When I chip, I put my hands up on the grip. When I chip.
A lot of fun, and we'll hear from Lexi Thompson's mother, Judy Thompson, speaking about her daughter. Some interesting insights on the way as our coverage from the Navistar LPGA Classic, watching Lexi Thompson in Alabama. Back on the 12th, this is Lexi Thompson with a 6-shot lead in the Navistar LPGA Classic.
Taking that down the left-hand side, going to carry all the mounds and bunkers. She's going to have nothing in.
Well, she said last night she just wants to keep it simple, just keep that freedom in her swing. And that was a good example of it there.
Well, a creamer now on the 14th hole.
You're shitting me. Really? God.
16th hole in Sayre Park.
Going with a 9-iron to this front right hole location. It's quite a downslope short of the flag. She's going to try and use that to her favor.
I got a new ball. Same.
She's really in quite a bowl today. I think we're going to see a lot of close shots here at 16.
Well, a little earlier today on the 16th hole, this was Na Yun Choi. Just take a look at this one. Hole in one from Na Yun Choi. Second of her LPGA Tour career. And that is $1,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project. Na Yun Choi rounded 68 today, coming off a bogey at the 15th. She says, you know what, I need to get a couple of shots back, so she made a hole in one. Out on number 12, Pat Hurst. Pat disappointed not to have a seat on the flight this evening to the Solheim Cup. Not selected by Rosie Jones as a wild card, but you know, at the end of the day, if you don't put yourself in the automatic qualifying position, you can't be upset when you don't get picked.
Exactly right.
This is a nice little hole, this 13th. It's varied from 165 yards down to 128 today. Jennifer Johnson first to putt for her birdie, and no doubt over the last couple of years, Kay, you've kept up with her amateur career, and it's quite spectacular.
It has been very, very good. She has been a wonderful amateur. Only played 1 year for ASU golf team. I was a little surprised that she decided to turn pro without maybe 1 or 2 more years of college. But so far, transitioning fairly well to a life as a professional golfer.
She reached the final of the US Women's Amateur 2009, and in the semi-final she beat Lexi Thompson. So that was no mean feat there. Actually lost the final to Jennifer Song, who was also a rookie this week. Now Brittany Lang, who's definitely one of the hottest players out there today. 5 under par for the day. Has this one to get 6 under for the day. 11 under total and outright second.
It's unfortunate that she started so far behind.
That must have looked good for a very long time. Stacey Lewis for birdie at 13. Hasn't really got the putter going this week.
Well, she's got her coach, Joe Hallett, here today. He's going on the charter with her tonight to Ireland, working on her putting this morning before she teed off.
Yeah, she had 5 putts on one of the greens yesterday. Back to 16.
Yeah, and Sayri Park. I saw the tee shot from really the pioneer of South Korean women's golf.
Hall of Famer and inspiration to so many of her fellow countrywomen. Oh, touchy little putt above the hole. Very quick, stimping over just over 11 here at Capitol Hill.
Now out to the final 3 players. And Nina Lee.
Looking at 174 yards. She has a 3 rescue. Whole location propped up in the back of a ridge, difficult to get to.
Thanks.
Still an important day for her, Jane. Her best finish so far this season is 6th.
Oh, that was a quality play there. Very nice.
And Tiffany Joe will be next to play.
She had a great attitude this morning on the driving range. Very upbeat, jovial sort of player. Excited to be in this position. Was looking forward to seeing what Lexi had going.
Scoreboard there. At least the guy in the orange shirt.
Well, Val, that's a pretty big distance between. Well, people go on holiday less distances than that. 45 yards or something.
45 yards is the number. And this is a 5-iron from 169.
She played yesterday with Sophie Gustafsson, so has gotten used to hitting first. Oh, what a terrific shot.
Well, Tiffany shouldn't be surprised by the fact that she was 45 yards behind. We knew that she was ready for it because she tweeted this last night at Lexi Thompson. Just don't laugh at me as you walk 120 yards past my ball tomorrow. Okay? Thanks.
And that was from 124, and that is a wedge, bringing it in from the right. Little wind to help. Oh, did she stay up? She's birdied this hole twice. That's going to be a difficult one to convert, possibly.
Well, Lexi averaging almost 280 yards driving distance this week. And that would rank first on the tour if you factored in Yanni's 268.4 average for the season so far. I think in years to come, Lexi Thompson and Yanni are going to be battling in a number of different categories, and driving distance is certainly going to be one of them. Back in a moment. Back live at the Navistar LPGA Classic. Before we went to break, we were talking about driving distances, but Val, it doesn't really matter when you're the first to play on the green, does it?
No, it doesn't. And that's a lesson learned. And she's in a tough range here. Can't really see the hole from where she is, other than the fact that she's just under 5'11". That helps. But she's 3-putted 4 times so far this week.
Starting to get interesting. I wonder if the pressure is starting to get to her.
Maybe a mid-round wobble from Lexi Thompson, bogeying the 11th, and now has that left for a par at number 12. From the reverse angle.
Yeah, huge ridge by Sexy's green to where the hole is in this upper level in the left. Quite slow uphill. They have not quite hit that one solidly.
Mina Lee trying to make it a 2-shot swing.
Well, and after an unforced error at the last and a good shot in here, this back left quadrant is the place to be. Very level, a lot of straight in putts.
Chance missed for Mina Lee. That would have put her to 11 under. If Lexi misses, she'll go back to 15 under, and the difference would only have been 4.
Second shot for Brittany Lincecum at 15. That's she made it look easy, but it wasn't really. That whole position is only about 15 feet over a little ridge, and to get that spin, I think you need some power. Back to 12.
So Lexie Thompson trying to avoid back-to-back bogeys.
This is the same length. She missed at the last. A little opposite break, maybe. That was a pretty quick pace on that stroke, Jane. A little jabby.
Yeah. And this is certainly telling when someone as young as Lexi, she's got a lot of experience under her belt, but she's still only 16 years of age. How is she going to handle the next hole, the next shot? Needs to try and stay calm, stay focused, not get hurried.
Well, and even at 66 years of age, you get a little nervous.
Oh, absolutely.
Tiffany Joe now for a birdie. Okay, so Tiffany Joe moves to 9 under par. This is Angela Stanford for a birdie on the 14th. She's going along nicely today. Good bounce back, gets her to 4 under for the round, and she's in a tie for 4th.
Paula Creamer for a birdie at 15. The last couple of weeks, with the exception of maybe a few putts she missed on the back nine last week, the short game, it just looks really solid.
Short putt here for Lexi Thompson and a bogey at the 12th. So she had made only 3 bogeys through 3 rounds. And now she has 2 in a row coming onto the back nine on Sunday. Now the lead is 5. Maybe it's going to get interesting, Jane. We'll find out. Here's how things stand at the Navistar LPGA Classic. The 16-year-old Lexi Thompson with a 5-shot lead, but we have some Solheim Cup players on the first page. Brittany Lang, Angela Stanford, Stacey Lewis, Morgan Pressel. Speaking of the Solheim Cup, looking ahead to next week's 7 U.S. Solheim Cup team members currently at the top 18. Melissa Reed on the European side wins earlier today at the Women's Spanish Open down in southern Spain. Laura Davies and Caroline Headwall struggling a little bit today. Jennifer Johnson currently tied for 7th. She's going to be donating half of her winnings to the Wounded Warrior Project. Right now, looking like about 18.5 grand.
Yeah, it's great performance from Jennifer Johnson, but a nice shot there from Tiffany Joe.
I feel that was a wedge.
Over to 16.
Brittany Lang trying to get to 11 under.
Right to left in this. Very speedy. And she hit it. Oh, gracious day, Brittany. You've got to get him to the hole.
Back to Mina Lee on the tee at 13.
She's gone with one more than Tiffany Joe. This is a 9-iron. 128 yards, but not playing more than 110. Downhill, downwind.
Pretty easy hole location today.
Yeah, for Sunday.
Yeah.
Somebody fell asleep.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought they might have tucked it a little bit more, Val.
They wanted to see birdies on this hole, I think. Now Lexi Thompson.
And this is a wedge. Talked about how she wanted her thoughts to stay simple, and she'll be challenged now after the last two bogeys to not overthink it or try hard.
Yeah, that's exactly what she needed after two bogeys. Well, she started the day with a 5-shot lead. That's exactly what she has now, 5-shot lead. She just needs to show a little bit of maturity, which I think she does have. No need to panic. Good rhythm on that swing. Lexi Thompson has really taken her time. She looks calm. I think she's calmed herself down, and her father really wandered all the way around this one. Has this one for a birdie to get to 16 under.
I think she can keep this inside the hole, Phil. It's mostly just slightly uphill.
Well, they did the hard work, didn't they? They read it to perfection. But that's a par. She pars every hole from here on in. I think we'll be looking at the winner. But disappointed, I'm sure.
Those putts the last 3 holes have all been about the same length. None of them have gone in.
Jennifer Johnson for a birdie on the 14th hole.
And this for a second birdie on the back 9.
Okay, also a member of the Curtis Cup team that Lexi Thompson played on last year.
Back to the 13th hole. Mina Lee has this one to get to 11 under. Nice putt. So Mina Lee gets within 4 shots of Lexi Thompson. Don't forget, 3 holes ago, Lexi Thompson had a 7-shot lead. It's never easy to win a tournament, especially when you're 16 years old.
Tiffany got a sneak peek there. Nice little guideline from Mina Lee. The UCLA standout. Jane went to school with Ryan O'Toole and Maria Hoyurad.
Yeah, Tiffany, I'm very impressed with her game. Good, solid player, free spirit.
Stacey Lewis now for a birdie.
Yeah, to sneak up that leaderboard a little bit more.
See if she can keep her head nice and still on this one. A little better there.
She's still moving it a little bit, but got away with that one for sure.
Well, we are seeing a lot of American Solheim Cup players coming into some form on the Sunday before the team heads out. That's good news for Captain Rosie Jones. Lexi Thompson trying to enter the record books on this final round of the Navistar LPGA Classic. The 16-year-old trying to win for the first time and become the youngest winner ever on the LPGA Tour. It dates back to 1952. Marlene Heggie was 18 years and 14 days when she won the Sarasota Open. That record would be smashed if Lexi can come through and get the victory. She started with a 5-shot lead. Show you some highlights from her round so far. That was her second birdie of the day. That was a 7-shot lead. But things changed on the back nine, Jane.
They certainly did. Began missing the putts that she had been making earlier on this week.
The bogey at the 11th. And a bogey on number 12, followed by a birdie from Mina Lee on the 13th. And now the lead is only 4. We say only 4, but when you compare it to the 7-shot advantage. Brittany Lang having a good day today, 5 under for the round. Tiffany Joe trying to better a tied 12th in Canada. That was the best finish of her career so far. Looks like she's going to record a career best week here in Prattville, Alabama. Stacey Lewis, Angela Stanford heading to the Solheim Cup later this evening. And they're going to do it, it looks, with top 10 finishes. Tom Abbott and Jane Craft are with you. Our whole announcer is Phil Parkin. Kay Cochran, Val Skinner out on the golf course, enjoying a nice afternoon. A little bit of breeze, but temperatures in the mid to high 70s. Not a lot of cloud around. Very comfortable. Lexi Thompson on the 14th tee.
Bunkers are weaved in and out with mounds scattered in between, and she has smoked it past all of them.
So she's hit it through the fairway into the rough. It looks like it'll be a pretty decent lie. These fairways just sort of snake along between the mounds. Visually very difficult to pick a line off the tee.
Jenny Shin on the 18th hole. This to save par. Hasn't dropped a shot all day. Haru Namura from Japan, the only other bogey-free player. She finished with a 71, tied for 39th.
Brittany Lang's third shot to the par 5 17th, tied for third.
A tricky little hole location here, Phil, right on the front. Players have got to make sure that they don't spin it off the green if they land it short. Lots of room behind.
She was hoping for a little bit of spin. That's a speedy little putt she's left. Angela Stanford, meanwhile, on the 15th. She gets to 10 under. She rolls this one in. Wow, it's close. Angela going on the chartered flight tonight, going over to Ireland. And she's paying all expenses for Jarina Pillar to go over to the Solheim Cup next week. Jarina Pillar is a rookie on tour this year, and Angela Stanford is her big sister. You always have someone taking care of the rookies, and I would say next week she certainly is doing that for Jarina. Let's go to 14.
This is Becky Morgan, played in the final group on Saturday. Final green, Suzanne Pedersen.
Hit a wonderful shot in here to this very challenging back hole location. Difficult to judge the right distance, but she's done a very good job of it.
You can see the tape there on her knees. She's been really struggling. And she was in our booth earlier this week, and you have to climb up a few stairs to get into our booth, and she was having trouble with those stairs, and these were really bothering her. But the good news for the European Solheim Cup captain Alison Nicholas, Suzanne says that the golf swing is not affected by the knee trouble. It's just sort of bending down, climbing up and down stairs really gives her a lot of pain. So Lexie Thompson with her father Scott there as her caddy. I had a chance to interview her mother, Judy, and she was talking about Lexie and growing up with her two brothers, Nicholas and Curtis, who are both very good players.
Well, Lexie is very competitive, but Curtis talks the trash to rile them all up, and to get them all three together at just in a game, it's unbelievable. The trash they talk, and I'll drive you here, and Lexi, you have to play back here with us, put the big boy panties on, and, you know, tee it up. You know, let's see it, you know, and it's fun, you know. It's something that they have in common, and every time when they get back together, when, you know, they're home, it's something they look forward to as a family, you know, and we all go out. You know, it's fun.
Nicholas, you may recognize his name, Nicholas Thompson, PGA Tour player, and then Curtis Thompson plays at LSU.
Get it over. It's a pretty good lie. I don't really think that's how I hit the over spinner yet. It's fire.
Looks like Mina Lee will be first to play, and this doesn't look too appetizing, Val.
I would say it isn't. It's going to be all arms. She's going to need to anchor her legs. Tendency off a lie like this is to pull it. But she's going to have to hit this off from the upper body. ...141 yards back into the wind.
Brittany Lang looking over what could be, at the end of the day, quite an important putt. Currently tied for third, has this one for a birdie to tie for second place with Mina Lee, who's in a little bit of trouble back on the 12th.
And a speedy one it will be too, Phil. A lot of slope from behind the hole. It's an awkward little hole location.
No problem.
So we'll go back to Lexi Thompson whilst Brittany lines up the putt there at the 17th.
Plenty of room around this whole location over the ridge. 52-degree wedge. Oh, that just made it. Maybe not.
Yeah, is it going to stay up? Needs to put the brakes on. I think it has.
A little bit unlucky, another 2 or 3 paces, and that would have fed right down to the hole.
Right, good. That was a good shot.
No, I shouldn't see no replay.
We'll go back to 17 now.
Brittany Lang to get to 11 under. I suppose you can, situation like this, be too aggressive and too ambitious with that kind of putt. Over to 16.
And Angela Stanford with a 9-iron in hand.
Oh, crap. Oh, help.
She was asking for a little bit of help, Jen.
She's going to get it off that slope to the left. Going to turn out pretty darn good, I think. There's all sorts of ways to bring it in here at 16 today.
Back on the 14th hole. Looking there at Tiffany Joe on the left of your screen. Now, Tiffany is very talented on the golf course, but also off the golf course as well. She has a new music video out called Grip It, so let's take a look.
I put my hands up on the grip. When I chip, you chip, we chip. You put your hands up on the grip. When I chip, you chip, we chip. You put yours, now put mine. Ooh, keep it low and roll it right. Hey kids, who'd you come to meet? Sandra, Gall, or Natalie? Bring your pens in quickly, cause Yanni just got to the green. They're giving tips, didn't you see? Linda, Brittany, up and down from the playground. It's the best thing that I've ever seen. You put your hands up on the grip. When I chip, you chip, we chip. I put my hands up on the grip. When I chip, you chip, we chip. You put your hands up on the grip. When I chip, you chip, we chip. You put yours and I put mine. We keep it low and roll it by. Oh.
So let's a look at the latest video from Tiffany Joe. The players involved in that, G. Haley and Alison Walsh, were dancing on the putting green there. But Beth Bader takes a starring role Apparently, only one take. She's a one-take wonder, Beth Bader, you know. You can go on the onto YouTube if you search for Grip It, and her handle is, or her username is Cup of Joe, J-O-H. So, speaking of gripping and chipping it.
Oh,
wow. What a segue.
beauty. Oh, you couldn't have drawn that up any better, Tom. I think she knows how to chip it. Oh, she is having a great day and a great week.
That just validates all her talents.
It certainly does, Val. That is tremendous. Let's have another look at this from behind. Scooping down on it. Pops it up in the air and trundles it right into the hole. Oh, tremendous. A very, very creative young lady.
Well, not afraid to poke a little bit of fun at herself, and that, I think, is a good trait to have. So Tiffany Joe played with Sophie Gustafsson yesterday for the first time, and in her last video she had featured Sophie, but she'd never met her. She was very nervous when she talked to her on the first tee. She said it was a little bit awkward, but it was okay in the end. Well, Mina Lee has a bit of work to do here, Val.
Yeah, not going well for her right now. She had missed it front left and had to chip it because it was such a severe break. And she's going to give Lexi a very good look at what this putt's going to do. She's just behind and to the right of her. Sort of expected Mina Jane to make a little stronger run at Lexi today, honestly. She's won 4 times in Korea and twice on this tour.
Yeah, and a good strong short game. Not the longest off the tee, but really not putting much pressure on her right now.
So now we know that this putt is fairly level. Quick break to the right in the beginning. Her goal coming into today was to shoot 5 under and get it to 20.
Currently even for her round. We saw the tee shot from Angela Stanford on the 16th. Now has this short one left for a birdie. It's $100, Jane, for every birdie made on this 16th hole going to the Wounded Warrior Project.
Well, I've seen a couple of people putt from this direction before. It does break a little from right to left. Ooh, uses it all, but it's in.
So 95 birdies count on the 16th hole going to the Wounded Warrior Project, which works on helping soldiers returning from Afghanistan and Iraq and conflicts around the world. And Lexi Thompson wearing the badge of the Wounded Warriors this week and leading the golf tournament. Back at the Navistar LPGA Classic, where the 16-year-old Lexi Thompson leads by 4, trying to come through with a historic victory and become the youngest to ever win in the 61-year history of this organization. Stacey Lewis has reached the 16th tee.
See if she can drop this 9-iron right on top of the flagstick.
Sit. Sit.
Trying to get it to come in from the left. Should keep coming.
Could be another birdie there, another $100 to the Wounded Warriors.
Paula Creamer over at 17, that's to get to 8 under. Seven players are currently tied at 8 under.
Oh, get left.
Tiffany Joe's tee shot at 15, birdied the last 3 holes.
Oh, and she just missed some big trouble. Skirted it down that big steep hill and caught a lie.
Yeah, you need a good lie with this second shot just over the top of that ridge.
Right between the Canada and the thing.
Oh, the guy in the hill.
Jane, have a look at this swing.
Yeah, good solid turn. Drops it back inside. Like she might have got that a little bit low on the face.
Completely different target, I think, for Lexi. I mean, a lot further right.
She's got to take it out right. There's a bunker just in front of the green, about 81 yards away. She could almost reach it, but it did sit down when it landed.
You know, I've been watching Lexi since she was about 10 years old, and I think, Jane, it'll be interesting to take a look at how her swing has changed over the years.
Yeah, let's have a look and see how it looks. Look at Lexi Thompson here. The ball position is a little bit further back in her stance. She's a 10-year-old as opposed to now. Perhaps sets up a little bit more behind the ball than she did when she was 10, and she does now, but a super shoulder turn. Look at how much shoulder turn she gets. Really impressive as a young person. Club nice and parallel, and an equally as good shoulder turn there. The club is a little bit longer now than it was at 10 years old, but very athletic. Oh, she gives it such a rip. Hangs back just a little bit as a 10-year-old. Fairly similar impact positions there. But then as she goes through impact, as a 16-year-old, she certainly gets a little bit more straight up, where she's a little bit more hung back there on her right side. But very athletic, natural golf swing. As she said earlier, she just wants to go out and free swing it, and boy, does she rip it.
So Lexi leading the driving distance stats. A quick question for both of you. You know, we've seen Tiger Woods struggle with injuries as he goes on in his career. Do you see anything in Lexi's swing that maybe has alarm bells ringing for injuries down the line?
I don't really. You know, she's very lithe, very limber. It doesn't appear so. I think she's going to be just fine. Phil, your thoughts?
Her swing has improved a lot over the last 3 years. She's working with Jim McLean, who is incredibly good swim coach. So I think under his guidance, she's just only going to swing better and better as she gets older, and I don't see any problems at all. She's really strong. You can see it's incredible performance. It's difficult to just believe she's 16 years old. Well, we'll see how she does when we come back. But proving that talent has no age.
Back in Prattville, Alabama, not too far away from the state capital, Montgomery, Lexi Thompson leading by 4. Started the day at 15 under with a 5-shot advantage. It was 7 at one stage, but currently 4.
Mina Lee second to 15.
Ball was below her feet there. It was an 8-iron. Really well judged. Not an easy lie to hit off of.
I was thinking from back there she might hit into the bank and release over the top. I didn't think it would have such a firm bounce as that. Over to 16.
Stacy Lewis with her birdie putt.
It is to get her double digits under par, and she has never played particularly well at this event. And, well, she's not going to like that effort.
Well, she was struggling a little bit on the greens yesterday. We noticed she had a 5-putt.
Tiffany Joe birdied the last 3 holes, second to 15 now.
She needs some luck to birdie this one. Tough lie, hole location difficult. And just played it like it didn't matter.
Yes, the only chance she had was just to land it into that upslope, and that's as good as she could do. She couldn't hit it any further right because there's a little knoll there which would have kicked it further left anyway. Now second for Lexi Thompson.
And I feel like texted back and forth with Jim McLean last night regarding Lexi and teaching her. I also taught Christy Kerr. He said one of the advantages, she's been able to square the face more. Used to shut the face at the top of her backswing quite a bit, and she's gotten rid of that. It's made a huge difference.
see the advantage there with the power, landing it on top, getting the backspin. But, you know, it's difficult to judge her against other players. So what I did, she played 6 times last year on tour. And so I worked out how much she made per event compared to anyone else on tour. And there were only 2 American players that actually earned more money per event than Lexi did. So I looked over the last 2 years, last year and this year put together, and there's only 5 American players. That's if she wins today. Only 5 American players earn more money than Lexie Thompson when she tees it up on the LPGA Tour over the last 2 years. That's if she does win today. So I suppose you're looking at possibly the 6th best US player, women's golfer. It's difficult to argue against that, especially the way she's playing right now.
Well, I think in talking to a lot of players this morning about, you know, what if she wins, what should happen, you know, Julie Inkster said she's an exception at the age that she is to be this good, certainly an exception. We have to protect the youth from being in the wrong place, but that she was good enough, and she absolutely had proved herself.
She certainly is doing that, and 16 years old, leading by 4 shots right now on the 15th green.
Yeah, a lot of discussion about what will happen if Lexi does win this. And we talked to her mother about Lexi's dream of one day playing on this tour full time.
Lexi's always set goals very high. I mean, that's just her. That's her, and we can't take that away from her. It's in her body. It's in her brain. It's in her body. So, you know what? We just let her dream. She's following her dreams. And like I said, the LPGA has allowed her to follow her dreams. So, you know, I can't really say what her goals are. Yes, she would love to win an Open. Yeah, she would love to win an LPGA event. But you know what? That time will come, and she's just going to be patient.
Well, I'm talking to her dad, Scott, this morning on the driving range. I said, is Judy going to be watching? And he said, oh, no, she can't bear to watch. She'll probably be out shopping or staying busy. Just call me when it's over.
It's funny how parents are like the chap Tom Lewis, who was doing so well at the Open Championship this year. His father, he can't watch. He sort of hides behind the couch. He's so nervous watching his son play. I'm sure it's the same for Judy.
Rena Lee for a birdie.
A lot of hook in this putt.
Didn't see him long ago. Rena Lee was in 2nd place on her own, now tied for 3rd, and struggling to stay there now, having that putt to save par. But surprising everyone, well, I don't suppose it was surprising everyone, Tiffany Jones has gone birdie, birdie, birdie to get to 2nd place on her own.
It's nice when you can fly under the radar a little bit and sneak in there for a top finish. All the pressure clearly mounted on this young woman's shoulders.
Yeah, it's difficult to imagine. I know she's handling it very well, and we know how accomplished she is at the game of golf, but the pressure right now just must be outstanding for Lexie Thompson. But she's looking at a birdie to get to 16 under, sorry. I think that was one of those putts where you don't want to knock it 3 feet by. Certainly not when you've got a 4-shot lead, 3 holes to play. No harm done. From a 16-year-old to a 51-year-old, Julie Inkster playing her 3rd shot to the 17th. I think that's the good thing about golf. It just it's all ages. You can start young and you can play till well, it's unlimited, isn't it? Back to 15. Tiffany Joe. This will be 4 birdies in a row to get within 3. And how good is this? Tiffany Joe, don't forget, is a rookie on tour. She's not used to being in this situation. Only 3 shots off Lexie Thompson. How about that charge? Birdie, 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 birdie. 12 under par. 2 shots clear of 3rd.
Well, the final group now on the 16th hole. Tiffany Joe making this very interesting, and she is playing for a lot here. I mean, this is a player who's a rookie on tour, could make a big check.
She certainly could, and could get herself into the CME Group title holders. Let's have a look at the Rolex rookie standings, and there you see her at third behind Hee Kyung-so and Ryan O'Toole. But she could make a big jump. Doesn't look like Hee Kyung-so can be overtaken. And Ryan missed the cut this week. He'll be heading over to the Solheim Cup. I'm very impressed with Tiffany Joe. Val contended a number of years ago in the Australian Ladies Masters, and good solid golf game.
Well, she's looking at 133 in a generous hole location in a little bowl in the forward portion of the green. Everything gathers right towards the hole. She's got a 9-iron in her hand.
Just saw Captain Jeff Smart placing the flagstick there on the Maxwell Air Force Base, which is not too far away from the golf course.
Get right.
Yeah, that's the one mistake you can't make, is long and left. She might get away with it. Oh, yeah.
A smart play, utilizing the slope to her advantage. And that's not that difficult a putt for birdie. Terrific shot.
Should have that for 5 birdies in a row. And putting some pressure on young Lexi Thompson. This is what we wanted to see, a good finish.
Lexi just has a wedge. A little bit of wind helping.
Jump up.
Same spot as long as it's not too far, and that's perfect.
This one's really good.
Oh, my. Oh, that's great sportsmanship.
Yeah, and I think Lexi's really enjoyed Tiffany today. She's easy to be with.
Let's have a look at this one more time. Really aggressive. I think she thought she might have pulled it too much. Where this whole location is, you can use that steep slope to the left. Thought for a moment it might have gone in. Great shot.
Now the third member of the group, Mina Lee.
Also a 9-iron.
Just about half a club short on that line. Needed to carry it another 3 or 4 paces.
Well, we are witnessing something very special here. Lexie Thompson, just 16 years of age, a high school junior, and leading. 3 holes to go. Lexie Thompson started the day with a 5-shot lead. She increased it to 7 by the time we made the turn, but it's now 3 because Tiffany Joe has been on a run of 4 straight birdies. She has another chance at the 16th. We'll see that in just a moment. But out on the 18th, Brittany Lang finished with a par. 67 for Brittany Lang. That was the score she recorded in the final round of the Ricoh Women's British Open earlier this year when she finished 2nd. That sort of cemented her as a automatic qualifier on the US Solheim Cup team. Now 16, Mina Lee.
Putts don't get any harder to read than this one.
Get it. It's like putting down the hood of your car, Val.
She read it nicely, but the speed is just treacherous. The more you try to make it, the faster it is. She still has the honor.
If you can judge your approach shot correctly, putts are not that difficult, but if you get in the wrong spot on that green, wow. And there's a scoreboard adjacent to this green, so I can probably tell exactly what's going on, but I have a feeling Tiffany knows exactly where she is.
Lexi's trying to avoid that. I know it was a goal coming in today to not overthink it.
Well, she shot 78 going into the last round with a lead in Mobile.
Stacey Lewis, third shot to the 17th.
Coming in with a sand wedge, Phil, just 85 yards. Trying to use the backstop behind this hole location.
Yeah, and the players are just not getting that spin. There's the slope's not quite severe enough. It's a dangerous hole, this 17th. The leaders have to come here next. There's been more bogeys than birdies, and it's a par 5, and 3 double bogeys as well. Have to play it with caution. Let's go to 18.
Well, the creamer just off the back of the 18th.
And this one has some speed.
To the 16th hole.
Tom Tiffany got a little bit of a read there off Mina Lee's putt. Sort of had a nice organic start to her golf, part of the first tee program in San Diego. And has gone back to the guy that originally taught her, Derek Ueda, who started her in the game. And she went away from him for a while and then found her way back. It's done her a lot of good.
Mina Lee missed her par putt, so drop shot for Mina Lee.
It's pretty level.
This to cut the lead to 2.
A little bit of a quick stroke there.
Stood up out of that.
Yep. A little too much anxiety. That was a golden opportunity too.
That might have been the one, Jane.
Yep.
Three, 2, 3, 3, 3 isn't too bad though, but with the way that Lexi is playing, just can't let those opportunities slip by. Lexi for her birdie. This will be the 3rd birdie of the round. Second 2 of the day. She birdied the 2nd.
And her first birdie here at 16.
Yeah. Okay, normal service resumed. So Lexie Thompson will head to the 17th tee with a 4-shot lead. 2 to play. We've got the par 5 and then the 18th, the uphill par 4, which is playing a little shorter today. 96 birdies for the week, so that's $9,600 plus we're going to add the $1,000 from Nyayan Choi's hole-in-one, so the total $10,600 raised for the Wounded Warrior Project. And then you have to add to that Jennifer Johnson's earnings, half of her earnings, that's going into the fund, and then free admission for everybody this week. But the gallery encouraged to make donations, so we'll find those out at the end of the week. Lexi Thompson up to the challenge presented by Prudential. Show you some highlights from Lexi's round. The first birdie came on number 2.
And important to get the putter working early. Nice solid stroke here.
She parred the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and then this was at the 8th.
She makes a lot of fours on par 5s, that's for sure.
coming out of the gates. How impressive was that? I mean, coming out with 2 birdies, 7 pars, out in 34. A few stumbles on the back 9, 11 and 12, but then a moment to go on the 16th.
The shot was so good as Tiffany Joe had just hit an excellent shot right in front of her. So important that she answer the challenge.
And this for the birdie.
Yeah, there you go.
Lexi Thompson up to the challenge presented by Prudential. Trying to become the youngest winner in the history of this tour.
Well, it is just quite something. You look at Marlene Hagee back in 1952, but they were just 18-hole events. Paula Creamer in the Sybase Classic at Waikiki in New York. 18 years, 9 months and 17 days, and Lexi just 16. Wow, born in 1995.
Lexi now on the tee at the 17th.
Up on the green ahead, Stacey Lewis for a birdie. Wow, it was a nice putt. She's putted a little better today than she did yesterday. Let's go to 18.
So Paula Creamer just trundled the birdie putt past the hole. This for par. The pink will come off, and the red, white and blue will come on as Paula gets into Solheim Cup mode. Charter tonight from Montgomery. They'll make a quick stop, I think, somewhere in Maine, and then it's on to Dublin.
Now, on the tee at 17, Lexi Thompson, 4-shot lead. All the trouble is down the left.
She still has the driver in her hand. Could hit it through the fairway potentially, but hasn't yet in the first 3 rounds. Birdied it in the 2nd round.
Yep, good tempo.
Yep.
All right, you got the target there.
Went right after it, swinging free, Jane.
Oh, that was tremendous. That was one area she could really have gotten into some bother. She'd missed it. As you said, on the left, with that hazard lurking.
Yeah, it's a little bit of safety involved as well. I know she really caught all of it, but over on the right side is probably where she was aiming. Probably couldn't have hit it much better than that. Now Tiffany Joe.
Just averaging 242. She could use some extra distance here today, but doesn't have it in the bag and has driven that in a bad spot and got a good kick.
Yeah, it's definitely a 3-shot hole. But it should be for all of them. I know Lexi could reach in 2 if she wanted to, but there's no way, absolutely no way she's going to go for this green in 2. She's going to play a 3-shot hole, play it smart with that 4-shot lead. Lexi Thompson, just 16 years old.
We're on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail this week, where Lexi Thompson is trying to win for the first time at just 16 years of age. Sunday, the Navistar LPGA Classic presented by Monaco RV. The final group on the 17th hole. This is how things stand. Lexi's round so far out in 34, a couple of drop shots, just a couple of makeable par putts at 11 and 12, but responding with the birdie at 16 and leading by 4. Tiffany Joe, great week for her. She was tied for the lead going into the final round of the CN Canadian Women's Open. Shot 76, finished tied for 12th. But today, a different story. She's looking for the best week of her young career. I'm Tom Abbott, joined by Jane Crafter today. Our whole announcer Phil Parkin, Kay Cockrell and Val Skinner are out strolling the fairways for us. And on the 18th fairway, this is Angela Stanford.
Oh, lovely shot from Angela. Hole playing a little bit shorter today, 375.
Back to the 17th. Jo laying up, which we expected.
Yeah, she has way too much to get there. Just wants to hit it down there about 170 yards.
A good solid shot there from Tiffany.
She had to hit a lot of club to lay up as well. She was a long way back. Well, Lexie Thompson was born in 1995. Oh, look at this. Bill Clinton was president back in 95. Gas prices, I wish. We could only wish that they're that price right now. Tiger Woods played in his first major, 41st in the Masters. Pat Hurst was LPGA Rookie of the Year. And of course, Golf Channel was launched in 1995. My goodness me. They've come a long way. I know the Europe started off with a European Tour and now got everything. Golf from all over the world, especially here in the United States. Back to Lexie Thompson.
She has 200 yards total and walked up here and pulled the club to lay up so fast you could barely blink. She clearly had it in mind to play this safe. She was in this position. That's just a little 8-iron.
Yeah, she's playing it smart, showing maturity beyond her years. See all the trouble there up around the green. Playing the fourth hardest hole today, so she did the right thing. Let's go to 18.
Inkster for a birdie.
A lot of left to right break in this. Never on the right line, Julie. Never the competitor, just disgusted with that effort.
Cam Stupples up on the 17th green, has this one for a birdie. Very nice. She's been putting well this week. Always hits it nicely tee to green, and it's good to see her rolling the putts in 10 under par. It's a tie for 4th place right now. Let's go to 18.
Great approach at the 18th by Angela Stanford. Third on her own at the moment with that 66.
Back to Tiffany Jo's playing a third to 17.
Straight at your back.
You heard a caddy Pete Smith say straight at your back when you're in the wind.
Huh?
I think you can hit the 50
Yeah.
with this much wind. Yeah. If not, you can hit the other 400.
Yeah. I was just gonna play this, like really.
All right, then it's 100 and a little bit left of it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Commit to it.
There's not quite a false front here, but if you land it short, it could cost you. Very quick from behind the hole, however, so you want to fly it past with spin. Double here in the second round.
She completely quit on that shot. Just trying to hit a 3/4 shot, Val.
I don't even know if that was just being so caught up in the field she forgot to hit it.
I think she hit the ground, and of course she's only got that one-shot cushion from Angela Stanford after Angela made that birdie at the 18th for that 2nd place. Now Lexie Thompson.
It usually flies right around 90 to 95 when we get the downwind. Behind is not bad anyways. So we'll just let it go there.
55-degree wedge.
in the hole.
Yeah, nice shot. You know, I've been listening to Scott, her father, this week, and he's been saying some really good things. And that time he said, you know, knock it beyond the hole, that's not too bad. All the trouble at the front of the green. Well, I think we're definitely looking at a mega superstar. Just a moment ago, Tiffany Joe playing her 4th to the par 5 17th.
And a big pitch here for her to try to get this close and save the par. It was just, I think, the third was a lapse in concentration, Phil.
Yeah, it's a lot of money at stake right now. She's currently 1 shot ahead of Angela Stanford. Let's go to 18.
And Stacey Lewis trying to finish with a birdie.
Looking for her first top 10 finish in this event. She's tied for 6th now.
Steady on.
Mina Lee for a birdie over at 17. Things just haven't gone the way she wanted on this back 9. Tied for 6th right now. She was in 2nd place outright at one stage, and about the turn.
Lexi, Phil, is coming from the same direction that Mina just putted from, so that gave her a really nice look at the speed. This downhiller can fool players. This green has been tricky all week. Players have missed a lot of short putts here.
Yeah, certainly has to be careful. Don't want this one to escape. 4-shot lead right now, this for birdie. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? And it can! Oh, Lexi Thompson, she gets it to 17 under par. 5-shot lead, 1 hole to go. I just hope everyone gives her the support and recognition that she definitely deserves. She's a wonderful golfer and a good kid.
You can just imagine the emotions going on inside Scott Thompson.
Well, I think that's definitely worth watching that again.
Look at her giving it a little extra with the putter. Yes.
Her reaction was wonderful. She got a great smile. She's just wonderful for ladies golf. It's great for America to have a young superstar like this. Tom, 5-shot lead, 1 hole to go. What a great feeling when you're 16 years old. She's going to be the youngest player ever to win on the LPGA Tour.
Going to be joining an illustrious list. Marlene Heggie holds the record at the moment. She was a 26-time winner. You got Paula Creamer, the youngest winner of a multi-round event. We watch Stacey Lewis the par at the 18th. Well, the bags will be packed and it'll be off to the airport in just a little while. Stacey making her debut in the Solheim Cup. Played in the Ladies Irish Open earlier this year. She knows what to expect at Clean Castle. And Lexi Thompson, a couple under for the day. Her goal was to get to 20 under. I don't think she's going to do that, but it doesn't really matter because it has just been a tremendous performance from a young lady who is only 16. This part of the world is no stranger to talented youthful athletes. The high school football team in Prattville is top 10 in the nation. So a fitting place that Lexi would pick to win. Let's take a look back at how she has progressed through the years. First burst onto the scene. She was only 7 or 8 years old. And as we talked about at the beginning of the show, it's been a steady rise, Jane. She's achieved what she needed to achieve at each level and then moved on.
Yeah, she certainly has. She's phenomenal at this age. a winner. Look at that putting stroke. Just a natural golfer. That's what I love. She learned to hit it as hard as she possibly could from an early age, just like Yanni Sen did. And there's her dad, always the caddy. Great support from her mom and dad and brothers. And this has got to be just a sublime moment for Father Scott.
Not even. Yeah, the problem is you don't want to really blast it over that thing, right? I mean, it's rough, but then it's crap.
Just waiting on the group ahead of them, which includes Karen Stopples with her second to the closing hole.
Trying to get it to release to the back out of that thick rough. That shouldn't be too much difficulty for Karen.
Oh, well, we have a moment. Take a look at our Volvic shots of the day. What are they going to be today? Now we start with Na Choi, the 16th hole. Yesterday we had a hole-in-one from Julie Inkster at number 13. Well, today, 16 was in the spotlight. And this was just a great moment for Na Choi, holing out. And that was a $1,000 donation to the Wounded Warrior Project. And then Tiffany Jo, right after we showed her grip it, chip it, do whatever you need to do with it video, she holes out from off the green. So Na Choi, Tiffany Jo with our Volvic shots of the day. Back out to the 18th tee.
She came to this tee wanting to smile, but trying to maintain that stoic presence, not to celebrate too early.
Both been turned nicely. This one turned too much.
Yeah.
Yep. Good tempo.
Beauty.
Yeah, good shot there. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, left edge of the Navistar 10, okay?
Okay.
Oh, that is terrific. Right down the right side. Ideal.
One hole to play for Lexi Thompson. Just the 18th between herself and the Navistar LPGA Classic Trophy. Lexi Thompson walking up the 18th hole. 5-shot lead for Lexi Thompson. First person to get out on the golf course this week. She arrived here on Sunday, Jane. Nobody had played in, what was it, 3 or 4 months?
Yeah. The course had been closed since Memorial Day to reseed and returf the greens, and boy, she enjoyed these greens. Clearly loves this golf course. Just suits her game just ideally. Tremendous effort.
You can log on to golfchannel.com to read Jason Sobel's weekly 18 column. He's been on site at the BMW Championship, so he'll have all the news from the PGA Tour playoffs for the FedEx Cup. That and plenty more on golfchannel.com. Of course, getting ready for the Solheim Cup next week. We'll have reporters on site bringing you the very latest. So watch Pat Hurst here.
You mentioned was the Rookie of the Year, 95, when Lexi Thompson was born. It's just an amazing feat Lexi has achieved this week. Pat Hurst would dearly love to have been on the Solheim Cup team, but just really didn't have a good enough year this year. She's already played on 5 of them.
It's been a tough day for Pat Hurst. 5 over for the round, and she has slipped back into a tie for 34th. She started the day in a tie for 6th. They're not stopping with the calculations, the concentration, despite the big margin at the top of this leaderboard for Lexi. Just waiting on Karen Stupples to finish up. I think an important week at Killeen Castle for Karen Stupples. Captain's pick. She was passed over when the Solheim was played a couple of years ago in Chicago. She'll be seen as one of the veteran members of the side, and it'll be very important for Karen to play well.
A good solid week for her. Get a little bit of form. Be comfortable with the golf swing going into that event next week. Becky Morgan currently in a tie for 6th. Good solid week for Becky. Of course, that you wouldn't have necessarily expected that she would have done well on. Disappointing.
So Becky Morgan drops a shot on the 18th hole, and let's hope that that doesn't cost her a place in the CME Group title holders. She's trying to battle to get into that season-ending event, also trying to get in the Mizuno tournament, which comes up in Japan a little later on this year. Mina Lee ready to go now on the 18th hole.
5-iron in hand off a slightly downhill lie. Has to take this a little right of the hole location with the bunker lurking the front at the hole.
Very nice effort there from that distance off that angle.
Tiffany Joe just up the fairway a bit. Still well back of Lexi. 7-iron is her play.
And now Lexi Thompson.
And it's another wedge, Tom.
Story of the week. Hitting so many short irons into these par 4s.
Keep turning. Go.
Oh, that is superb. What a brilliant effort.
Well, at 12, she was the youngest ever to earn a place in the U.S. Women's Open. A year later, she became the United States Girls Champion.
Lexi Thompson, Mina Lee, Tiffany Joe.
And dreams can come true, little girls. Dream big.
At 14, she made the cut of the major. She was tied for the lead in this tournament after 2 rounds. At 15, she turned pro, top 10 at the U.S. Women's Open, runner-up at Evian. And now, at 16, she's going to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour.
She's done a wonderful job today of focusing on one shot at a time, keeping it simple, playing her game.
Tiffany Joe with her birdie attempt.
Oh, that's going to leave that uncomfortable length for par. An important one for Tiffany if she wants to maintain her second place right now.
It's going to be about a $12,000 putt. Mina Lee, who struggled a bit today, 1 over for the round.
And she just needs a little tap, just a little tap at the center of the face. This will be very quick.
Finishes with a 73. Started the day as the closest challenger to Lexi Thompson. She's going to finish in a tie for 6th.
Looks like she's going to allow Tiffany Joe to finish out.
Very impressive last 7 holes for Tiffany Joe. Her career best finish, 2nd on her own, a big check. That'll ease the financial pressure as the year comes to a close. But now the stage is set for Lexi Thompson. Well, surely the first of many, but one she will never forget. A victory for the record books, and Lexi Thompson is a winner on the LPGA Tour at just 16 years of age. No champagne at this age. That'll come later.
Yeah, wonderful to see the LPGA players, Cream and Lincecum there. This is an outstanding achievement. Sandra Gall.
Thank you very much.
Her agent, Bobby Kreisler.
I'm so proud. I'm going to grab it. Thank you. We're going to take a few minutes.
Thank you. The tournament director, Jonathan Romeo.
Awesome. Thank you.
Paula Creamer and Brittany Lincecum. It's a good friend Janie Jackson, the amateur qualifier. And the pair spent yesterday evening having dinner, relaxing, trying to keep her mind off of the task ahead.
Well, in a couple of years' time, Premier Lincecum will have her as a Solheim Cup partner, team member. And only imagine the emotions in her father, Scott. And as I said, dreams can come true. She's been dreaming of this day since she was a little girl. You just start to run out of superlatives, Tom, for the level and the quality of play.
I've got to make sure that everything is signed and correct on the scorecard. So Lexie Thompson wins by 5. Plenty more still to come from the Navistar LPGA Classic. We're going to be hearing from Lexie Thompson and those involved in this final round. And the record books are updated. Lexie Thompson, the youngest winner in the history of this tour, beating the previous record by 2 years. Much more to come. We'll be back in just a moment. There's a big leaderboard on the 18th hole with the name Lexie Thompson firmly placed at the top. This was the winning moment for Lexie, finishing with a round of 70. So Lexie's victory at the Navistar LPGA Classic will gain her entry into the season-ending event on the LPGA Tour. The CME Group title holders will be playing at Grand Cypress in November. So she is a qualifier, along with Tiffany Joe and Becky Morgan. A very lucrative week. The first prize there will be $500,000. And who's to say that Lexie Thompson won't be one of the favorites? Just getting the scorecard signed, making sure there are no problems. Now, the media awaits. There's our Val Skinner. She'll be talking with Lexie in just a moment. Meanwhile, the official presentation getting ready to start on the 18th green. Let's take a look at some highlights from Lexie's final day. And we start on the second hole. She had started at 15 under with that 5-shot lead. It was an impressive way to start, Jane, wasn't it?
It certainly was, and important for her to get the putter going early. And she would go on to roll this par save in the hole, where she used all the hole. But when you're a little nervous and under pressure, it often shows up in your putter, and it's important for her to get off to that sort of start. This is her third at the 8th, par 5. And another wedge judged very well. Second birdie of the front 9.
So she was out in 34, and it's a 7-shot lead and cruising. It's her third to 10th hole. At this point, it just looked like there was no stopping her. But she did have a few problems. This was for par at the 11th.
Yeah, not a bad stroke, just a misread, I believe. A little bit more break from left to right.
And then at the 12th, which was also for par.
Yeah, she had left her putt short from about 45 feet away.
And round at that point, Tiffany Joe was beginning to make a move. She had made 3 straight birdies. Tiffany could also birdie this hole, the 16th. But Lexie responded.
She certainly did. That's the ball of Tiffany Joe, so she needed to hit a good one here. Almost in the hole.
And the pressure was eased a little bit when the birdie putt went in at 16, and then this at the 17th. Just showboating.
Yeah, just putting the icing on the cake.
then had this for a birdie at the 18th.
Oh, you know she would have loved this one to go in, but it really didn't matter.
Couldn't quite put the cherry on top, but taps in for 17 under par total. And Lexi Thompson, the champion of the Navistar LPGA Classic. And she is with Val Skinner.
Thank you, Tom. Lexi, this is a really exciting moment in women's golf. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Can you sum up just your emotion standing on the 18th tee? I saw you wanted to smile coming off 17, but it was as if you didn't dare celebrate.
No, I mean, I was smiling. I was just really excited, but coming up the 18th, it was just like all the pressure was just let off, and I just let go and just wave to the fans and everybody.
What was going through your mind, first of all, when you came to the golf course today? Do you realize you had a chance to make history and become the youngest player since 1952 to win on the LPGA Tour, the youngest ever?
Well, I definitely knew I could hold a record, but I was just focusing on playing the golf course today and just doing my best, and that's all I could do.
How nervous were you?
I was a little nervous on the first tee, not gonna lie, but if you're not nervous, you don't care out here. So I had a lot of fun and a great group. So
what did you do last night to blow off a little steam?
I just went to Outback for a few hours with Jenny Jackson. We hung out with her and her family, so it was just really relaxing.
Did you and your father both get a fair amount of sleep?
Oh yeah, definitely. Went to bed by like 10:30, so I got like 8 hours, so I'm good.
You had a little bobble there at 11 and 12, sort of where things kind of turned around, and then Tiffany Joe made this unbelievable hole out. Did you get a little bit freaked for a minute, or were you able to maintain your composure?
I was maintaining it. She got on a roll, she was birdieing, and then she chipped in, so it's just like, who knows, she can birdie all the way in for all I know. So, I was just focusing on my own game and just keeping steady.
The shot at 16, when you got up over the mound and you were able to see that you almost made it, what went through your mind?
Oh, that was crazy. I mean, I hit my shot at the middle of the green and I saw it disappear, so I'm waiting for everybody's reaction. They were like, oh. So I'm like, I must have almost got in. So that was really exciting. It was a big shot.
The second play on 17, obviously you had 200 yards. You could knock it on the green and you made it. You pulled the club out of the bag almost before you got to the ball, trying to play the smart shot. Was it that moment that you knew you had it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I was just like, just lay up, you'll make birdie with a wedge in my hand, and that's what I usually do, unless it's like a 5-iron in or anything, and no trouble, so.
Through the course of time, you've built your career to get to the point where today you played like a Hall of Fame veteran to win this tournament. Who's giving you advice along the way that's been helpful?
Probably out here, probably Natalie Galbez, Christina Kim, just everybody supports me and just saying good luck, all my Twitter fans and everybody. I mean, if it wasn't for my fans, I wouldn't be out here and, doing what I did, so.
Did you think this could happen for you so quickly?
Well, I knew I was playing pretty good lately, but, I was just taking one tournament at a time and, I had a few struggle moments, but, came through here.
But that was commanding, 16 and 17 and 18. That was a commanding finish.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just trying to hit good shots, smart plays, and, ended up I made birdies on 2 out of 3, so.
Now what's next? You could petition possibly the LPGA. Mm-hmm. You have some big decisions to make. Any thoughts?
I don't really know right now. I mean, this is all a big thing going on right now, so, just going to see where it goes in the next few days.
Enjoy this. Just wrap your arms around it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
Well, thank you, Val. An emotional day for Lexi and an emotional day for her father, Scott, who has been on the bag since she was just a little girl. There he is. And he comes through guiding her to victory on this Sunday. We're going to talk with Scott in just a moment, get his thoughts. I'm sure he'll be very emotional. Interesting to hear what he has to say. We'll hear from Scott Thompson when we come back. This was the moment when Scott Thompson got to hug his daughter after winning the Navistar LPGA Classic. Scott Thompson is with Kay Cockrell.
He sure is, Tom. And I just first have to ask you, how proud are you of your daughter and what she accomplished this week, and particularly what she accomplished today?
Oh, I couldn't be more proud. She, we've been working really hard. We had a kind of rough beginning of the summer, and then in the last month she's been hitting the ball just absolutely brilliantly, and we haven't scored, and it all came together this week.
It doesn't happen too often that a father can walk side by side with his daughter. What was it like out there for you to try to balance that line of being caddy and a dad at the same time?
This is the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. I mean, I know it's harder on me than her, but I'm pretty good with numbers, so I give her the number, and she's pretty self-sufficient out there, so it's not too bad, but it's just, I mean, I could have keeled over on any hole out there. It was just tough.
Speaking of nerve-wracking, when Tiffany Joe made those 4 birdies in a row and got to within 3, what did you say to yourself, to Lexi, to kind of keep it going?
Well, I told Lexi, when it got to 3 and we had 3 holes left, I said, look, I mean, she's got to birdie all 3 holes. We par all 3, we're still, right there. I said, and Lexi didn't want to hear that. She goes, no, it's on. She goes, I'm making some birdies coming in, and she birdied 16 and 17, and that was nice.
Is there anything more brilliant than seeing your daughter walk up the fairway and then hoist her first LPGA trophy?
Oh my God, that feeling is unbelievable. I mean, I wanted to cry, but I held back. But it was an awesome feeling.
Well, you certainly did a very good job as well. You guys both worked wonderfully together. Thanks for taking some time to talk to us, and congratulations again. Tom?
Well, thank you, Kate, and thanks to Scott Thompson for taking a moment to talk with us whilst his daughter hoists the trophy. He had a front row seat for the action. Tiffany Joe also had a front row seat to watch Lexi playing alongside her. She finishes second, her career best, and she is now with Val Skinner.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Tiffany, you got a chance today not only to have a great event, and we think finish second by yourself.
Yeah.
We're working that one out, but you also got to witness history. What was it like out there for you on both sides?
It was extremely humbling. I mean, first of all, she's hitting these shots that I'm looking at my caddy and going, what? She's taking lines that, a lot of girls cannot take on this course. But, I mean, it was really impressive to watch. And if I can say that I was a speed bump on her way to history, then that's enough for me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about not only your great communications work and all your video editing, but also the hole out back there. And that was a big turnaround for you.
Yeah, I had just come off a couple birdies, and that hole, I kind of just flailed it out to the right, and I was honestly, I was a little bit irked at that moment. It was probably the most upset that I got all day, but I chipped it in, and Pete, my caddy, came up, and he's like, yeah, that's your reward for staying patient, and I was like, whatever, and I just walked off, but, I mean, it was pretty cool.
And this finish puts you in the CME title holders coming up at the end of mid-November.
Right.
That's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was actually my biggest goal coming into today. I was just thinking, Lexi's miles and miles ahead. Let's at least, if there's anything to play for, it's title holders. And, I came into today with that goal, and to leave today having fulfilled that is amazing for me.
And maybe a distant eye on Rookie of the Year points.
Yeah, I mean, she's about, I think it would be comparable to how far Lexi outdrives me by, so that's how far ahead she is, so I'm not really too fixated on that right now.
Well, good job today, and thanks for stopping and talking to us. Back to you, Tom.
The hole out. This was the 14th. Tiffany Joe.
Just a terrific shot with a lob wedge, opened the face, just popped it on the green, and in it went. And she played some excellent golf today.
Well, Lexi Thompson had dinner with Janie Jackson, the young amateur who was in the field this week. Going to try and hear from Janie when we come back as Lexi kisses the trophy.
Big smile, look at all the other cameras.
The 12 U.S. Solheim Cup team players heading out for their send-off on the 18th green. Let's go down to Val Skinner with Janie Jackson, the young amateur.
Thank you, Tom and Janie. You've had the privilege of getting to know Lexi just recently. You Monday qualified here, shot a 67 going around one of the days, and so you had a pretty good week. But you spent some time with Lexi last night. Tell me a little bit about how that went.
Oh, it was good. And I asked her, I was like, are you nervous? She said, right now? No. I said, what about tomorrow? She said, no. She said, if I stay calm, I should be able to do it. I said, I think so too. I was with her for 5 hours last night, just me and her, and we didn't talk about golf once. So I think that was good for her, and I think, just to keep her mind off of it. But I'm really excited for her. I'm glad she came through with it.
Well, she was remarkable today, making the history that she made. But is she ready, in your opinion, to play the LPGA Tour full time?
no question. She just put up rounds of, she shot 17 under for 4 days. That's incredible. She's 16. I think she's just as good, if not better, as all these other girls out here. I think she's definitely ready, and I think she's going to do well on tour.
Now, she's a year younger than you. What's different about the two of you?
She's consistent on the golf course, and I think she's got a little more experience than I do playing professionally. But you know, she hits the ball a long way just like I do. But I mean, the course suits her game well, and you know, I'm excited for her.
So it's not a one-off course. She is an exception at her age.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We're going to go to Kay Cockrell with Suzanne Pedersen.
Thank you very much, Val. Suzanne is getting into the spirit. Solheim Cup week is starting. You're going to hop on that plane tonight. Where does the Solheim Cup rank for you in events that you play?
You know what, it's truly one of the most special events we play throughout the year. This will be my 6th. I would say something would have been missing if I would take the memories I have from the Solheim out of my career so far. It's so special, and it's memories for life, and it's very intense. This time I've been very calm leading up to it. It's almost like I know what to expect. So my emotions have been really calm so far, but I know my adrenaline will be running high all of next week, so I can't wait to get there.
You're a fabulous match player. You are now a leader on this team. What role do you say, and how do you embrace that role of being one of the leaders and one of the veterans?
I don't know if I look at myself as one of the veterans, because we always have Lord Davies in our team. Annika used to be the older one. I just try to share my experience with the rookies and the ones coming behind. I don't think we look at our team as any individuals stronger than any other. We need all 12 to play really well, and we need all 12 to really get the points on the board. So for us, it's all about getting the team together and get the team spirit, and try and bring the best out of every player.
Well, I know the Americans, when they go up against you, they know it's a hard-fought match. Well, thanks a lot for the time, and let's take it back to Tom.
Well, thank you, Kay. So we've got some cheerleaders out there sending off the teams. They'll be getting on the charter later this evening in just a couple of hours, heading over to Dublin. Our coverage begins Thursday night, 2:30 Eastern Time, live on Golf Channel Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lexi Thompson becomes the 5th winner of the Navistar LPGA Classic, following the footsteps of Maria Hjort, Lorena Ochoa, and Catherine Hull. A fine performance, but Jane, what happens now? I mean, she isn't a member of the LPGA Tour. We've had this chat before. She's currently heading through the qualifying school. She's got the second stage coming up, but she's a tour winner. So what are the options?
Well, the options are now that she and her parents could petition the LPGA for a membership. She has already qualified for the title holders, regardless of whether she's a member, because of this win. So, you know, Mike Wan has a decision after, if they do petition, to say, yes, you can become a member or not. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Thompson camp decides to do.
Now, we did ask the LPGA Tour to comment on this process ahead of the broadcast, and they decided to say, stay pretty tight-lipped, just telling us the obvious, that if she were to win this, then she would qualify for the CME Group title holders, but nothing else, and obviously we'll take it from there. But it's a fine performance, and it is very unlikely, Jane, that they will deny a petition if one is made.
Well, it's been a sensational performance. I applaud Lexi. Just a phenomenal effort at age 16.
Just to put it in perspective, Maria Sharapova was 17 when she first won. Tiger Woods was 22. Chris Evert was 18. Martina Navratilova 22. Lexi Thompson is 16. She emerged at an early age, only 10, when the cameras first caught a glimpse, a far cry from the tall power player we know today. At 12, she was the youngest ever to earn a place in the US Women's Open. A year later, she became the United States Girls Champion. At 14, she made the cut in a major championship, tied for the lead after 2 rounds here. At 15, she entered the paid ranks. Last year, there was a top 10 in the US Women's Open, a runner-up at the Evian Masters. And now, at 16, she's the champion of the Navistar LPGA Classic, the youngest winner in the 61-year history of the LPGA Tour. What a moment for Lexi Thompson. From all of us at the Navistar LPGA Classic, we'll see you next week for the Solheim Cup. Bye-bye for now.
This has been a presentation on the only worldwide network dedicated to the game, Golf Channel, powered by NBC Sports.